Hi Libra, and welcome to Ho 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 December month. So there is a challenge this month, so challenges like I want to hear from you. So how about learning like who is on the other side of this video? So it is like simply, hopefully, my Christmas wish. Let's see how many of you kind of like want to step in and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm from this country. Just let's kind of like meet and greet. So let's go quickly into this. You did get this first card, efficiency. And I was like, huh? Efficiency? Libra? Efficiency? Maybe for those Libras that are really born in, I almost like said in August, no, in September. But kind of like a pulled clarifier, and I got transformation and intention. So they're like some kind of like goals in sight, clearly, that they're talking about. And then we have like this fork in the road, which is absolutely lovely whimsical card. So which kind of like fork will we take? And then we have some basically answers here. This is like Eo, it's the rune of progress. So, and it is kind of like only one side. So this is also very, very encouraging. So shall we start and get more information about your December and about the beginning of 2019? And lastly, guys, don't forget to order my annual tarot scope. This is supporting the channel, so hopefully you can do that. You will see the links on the screen. And until the next time, you know that I love you, right? Hi Libra, and look who is coming here to visit, right Seth? You love Libras? Can we get something more that sounds more like of affirmation? Huh, sweetie? So there you go, Libra. You're having like a special furry blessing over here. The bottom of the deck is Knight of Pentacles, and this is like really someone who balances the energy of intense drive with infinite patience. So it's somebody experienced and skilled, and this person knows that timing is everything, and somebody who can really wait. Sounds like you. Yep. But nonetheless, you'll be able to take advantage of this particular energy, right? It's also like something about quiet demeanor, and it's like somebody who is able to maintain a high level of awareness, because I see that was something from the past happening, and maybe it is like relating to someone you didn't kind of like know or find the answers, who was like upsetting you. You were trying to find solution. Air sign, we are like very, very solution oriented. We really want to know what it is. You guys also on top of everything package everything really nicely, but if they just dare to open that package not in a way that you intended, like you're going to go right, kind of a thing. So this, however, kind of like brought to you something to the surface, that you are kind of like learning certain things about yourself, like that slow and steady wins the race, that you just cannot take drama, and it looks like you had plenty of drama recently, right? And well, drama, like I mean, or lack of drama, rather to say, doesn't mean a lack of dedication, because something over here is like telling me that maybe you're just like simply waiting for somebody who is going to be counted when the time counts. That's probably why you have this like fork in the road over here. There's like clearly transformation month over here happening, because funny enough, Eo, he's like the rune number 13th, and also we have here a card number 13th, and transformation, the card in tarot, is also card 13th. So it will be really interesting. So let's start. So what do I say? What do I see here for Libra? We have 10 of Pentacles. So wow, you know, you kind of like are dragging the end of this year, like I mean, toward that big finale. You want crescendo, you want culmination, you want fanfare, you want all of these, what do you call it, confetti, right? You really kind of like want it. Almost like looks to me like a whole bunch of confetti. It sounds to me that some of you are really preparing kind of like either your apartments are really kind of like decorated. I mean, you can see it with me as well. At least you can see the lights kind of like glowing over there, because now Safi is like participating in this. But it's like something really big for you. You're really paying attention to like how you're going to work this particular holidays. This kind of like definitely talks about gathering gatherings of all kinds. And not only gatherings, but also kind of expressing your thanks. These cards are really kind of like related, and in a really, really good way. Because with this card, it really talks about, hey, you know, I belong here, and I totally know why this part of the puzzle is me. It's not one of those weird, like, I mean, you have a sky and sky, 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 sky. It's just like, no, it's actually something that is really, really crucial. It's sort of like finding our place under the sun over here. You might actually also have some kind of like form of wisdom, like, I mean, transferred onto you these holidays. It could be that something is going to be said, or you're going to even receive something. It could be actually something that is like monetarily lucrative, or something could be even as simple as advice that actually can push you in a new direction. So this is crossed with the Tower. This is literally saying you have to do that. It's kind of like something also maybe that could be in a family gathering, that it might kind of like take you by surprise. It might be a little bit sudden, or so sudden that you'll go, ah. This card really talks about, and it shows up when we are on a path that we're not supposed to be. Something maybe has been built, and maybe this was like even on a family level, built on completely wrong foundations. And maybe this is like why we need to kind of like really look into things deeper. You know, like, especially if this is family, whether this is like your, like, I mean, biological family or not, you know, they have like their methodology, and like, you know, Lancaster always pays his debts, etc. And we kind of like really don't question it, maybe never, and maybe sometimes until later in our life. And yet everybody wants to peg us, and everybody wants us to kind of like continue jumping when they say jump, and so on and so forth, especially our parents. And I'm dealing with an elderly, basically, parent, and it's really, really difficult. I mean, grumpy old man is really coming to kind of like to the forefront of my mind. So this really happens where maybe you're going to just like see something, and you're going to go whoa, 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 and whoa, kind of like, don't know if I can do it. So this is the base of the reading. You have 9 of Wands. So this is a seasoned warrior. It's kind of like something that maybe is challenging for you already, but you're going, you know, I'm just going to roll my eyes and do anything that I want anyway. It could have been that somebody was threatening you, or somebody was like, you know, putting you on the edge, putting you on a defensive, that you just like kind of like maybe felt it was a battle of wills. Maybe you really kind of like want to get more informed about the situation, and more informed about the direction where you're going. And this is kind of like going to be sort of like that revelation, oh my gosh, you know, I have been doing this all wrong. It's like one of those things when you peel the banana, and then, you know, everybody says, no, I have to peel it on the other end, and then you go and peel on the other end, and then like a year later you realize you've been doing it like wrong, like with this like second try, so you have to go to the first one. It's kind of like really determining which way to really go, right? So keep in mind that this is a rune of progress. So there is like this fork in the road, and this is kind of like a card for you, which is kind of difficult to handle, because Libra is always measuring, are these two sides in complete balance? Am I supposed to do more on this end or on this end? This can even come to maybe buying gifts for the season, and how will you approach the others. So this is very, very interesting, because it's really talking about figuring out what you want to commit to and what you don't want to commit to. So things in the past, look at this, the entire family is going to show up. Queen of Pentacles. So this could have been you. Maybe you have been married, maybe, you know, have been in a steady relationship, and things kind of like fell apart, and maybe that's why this is sending this kind of like big kind of like waves, not just ripples but big waves in your direction, because this is a time to kind of like get together with people. And maybe you're really wondering even if you can be friends possibly with your ex, especially if children are involved. This can also talk about that there was like somebody else in a situation who was like really interfering with your happiness. This person tends to be married, or this person tends to be kind of like really having something long term. And if this is not you, then it could have been somebody who maybe you didn't even know of, who kind of like came to the fore. This can also talk about your own parents and somebody who is definitely affecting your life in some way, shape, or form. This could be a person who is very demanding, especially when it comes to money. I do see that some kind of like financial decisions might really be important this particular month. So let's see how this goes. So now you have another 10. So there are going to be lots of kind of like, I really don't think you're waiting for New Year to make new resolutions. You will be doing them right now. And some of them are going to be completely shut in the dark and going in a direction that is going to be sudden. And it's going to be something that is going to be actually really good for you. It also could be that you'll just like be fed up with some issues that have been lingering or have been repeating, and you're going to realize that, hey, I keep doing the same thing, and how come that there is like a year later and I'm kind of like finding myself in the same situation. So, and this is why it's efficiency that is coming in, because when I first saw it, it's like, oh, this really sounds like Virgo, but efficiency, it is actually very kind of like air in it, and I don't know what is it, like it says in and out, if you can see it over here, like clearing things out, like it's Mercury retrograde. It's kind of like really weird that somebody's like really hiding under their desk. I really think this is not one of those things that we kind of like, oh, I'm going home and finally finish work, oh, I'm going to sort out the bills. Yeah, not one of those things, but this is exactly probably what you are going to be sorting things out. You will figure out that there's clutter, and it's not only clutter like, I mean, the whole bunch of clothes in your bedroom, but there's like clutter in terms of bills. There's clutter in terms of people that you have, that, like, you know, my brother is kind of like interestingly saying, like, look, I have so many friends, and then they call me every day, and he said, I feel like the plastic bottle is somebody pokes a hole, and then the second person calls me, third, and I feel all these holes are leaking out everywhere because I don't have that time, the huge amount that I'm supposed to give to my family. So you have to start making choices, right? And I kind of like see that over here, because intention is really, really important. We are seeing here this swing kind of like moving forward, which kind of like definitely kind of like joins this air rune and joins this, even though this doesn't really look exciting. This is not like an air travel by any means, but nonetheless, you're not down on the ground in the mud, and like you have a transportation, and also that is really warm. So let's see like what is kind of immediately ahead of you. So look at this, another 10. So 10 means things are actually coming to some kind of like edge, or there's like a phase that is finishing. This particular 10 talks about the worst is over. And it could be like really that in this time period you find something out, that something has been kind of like really affecting you, and very reason why you kind of like either didn't achieve what you wanted to achieve, or how to go about that to get there. This is also time of letting go of the old hurts, of the of the people who are basically not the ones who were heroes in our life, and maybe like allowing other people who might not be as, let's call them sexy, but they're like people who have been there for us when we fell down here. They were there, like to say, okay, hey, you're going to make it, just keep going, you know. When you're just about to give up, they actually kind of like put that new life in you. It's not only second wind, but third wind, fourth wind, like we'll keep going. So let's see your emotions. There you go. You actually going to be very grateful. You're handling this combination, and it is like really good. So this is a soulmate card. So there's like predicting of something really, really good coming. So it could be a completely your vibration and your readiness to actually date or to meet somebody, or could simply really talk about some coupling that you already have, about something that you actually for some reason really want to give it another shot. Maybe you kind of like are going to go really slow about it, because you're going to say, oh, you know, I burned myself once. I'm not going to kind of like be like that proverbial cat not jumping on a stove when it's hot, because I have learned my lesson. But this is like really, really well projected. Something is actually pushing it forward, and it's pushing it forward emotionally, which kind of like really brings me back to this, because all of these tens, all of these tying up loose ends, and now you have actually learned so many things. You probably didn't feel that way that you were doing that, but this transformation, I think, is full. And you are no longer in a cocoon. You're not that larva. Now you're like spreading your wings and becoming that beautiful butterfly. So situations are moving on forward, even if the pace is kind of like slow, and even if it kind of like looks that seemingly not much is being accomplished, right? A new situation will very soon manifest and is going to start moving at such a pace that it's going to be difficult to catch up. You have like the Ten of Swords. This is really, really fast, right? So the problem is like, I mean, keeping all these like balls up in the air. This is also associated with hunting. So hello, you know, like a good time to find people, meet people, but this could be the right person, right? Because it is really talking about you need to be like an archer, right? Like, or like this attention. You need to know where you're going. So you need to be kind of calm, and you need to kind of like wait until your target is in sight, and then just like lose your arrow, right? So don't fear that you're going to miss your chance, or the target is just going to just like escape. Don't be concerned that certain things are not going to happen, because that kind of like tells me a little bit you might kind of go in this direction. So it also could talk about somebody who is very positive, and somebody who is like very strong-willed, right? Somebody who is decisive, and that almost like to me usually describes like proverbial Queen of Swords, which basically it is you, but it's going to be some kind of like athletic interest, some kind of like keen abilities to kind of like really position themselves in their life, and also somebody who is able and willing to be bold, right? Somebody who kind of like wants to kind of like set a new path for herself or himself, because this is generic reading. Then in that case, like, I mean, knowing in which direction you're going, but this is literally you're putting down so many kind of like things, like that's cleaning the slate. And also sometimes it's very important to see cards that are not on the table. So with these kind of like 3 10s, the one that we are missing is the Ten of Fire, which actually is the only one, well, the only one. There are usually 2 and 2 to have like great connotations, to have bad connotations. And Ten of Fire, it's really talking about secrets. So something is getting revealed to you, something you're kind of like picking up on something. It's going to be really, really interesting. So let's see. This is your environment, and look at that. You're having the Seven of Swords reversed. Here we see the kitty sleeping on a switch, and the mice are partying over here, and the cheese is going to be taken. But when Seven of Swords reverses, it's really talking about understanding of some process. It's an aha moment. It's kind of like interesting that it's coming in your environment, because it could even be apology. It could be somebody who actually did cause you lots of turmoil or pain, or maybe somebody who will do it now, because after all, we are going through Mercury retrograde. So people say the weirdest things during Mercury retrograde. I was buying something on Craigslist and sent an email, and somebody sent me an email by mistake, which was like going to somebody else, explaining their entire life and relationships. I said, okay, just like too much information, dude. So it also kind of like it's time for reckoning, where we kind of like really bring people back in our life to really kind of like reach this conclusion, because that's kind of like that closure and understanding and everything. And sometimes like understanding situation is really important in order to move forward, because you are really projected that you're going there, you're going in some kind of really lovely relationship. So let's see your hopes and fears. Yeah, your hope is like, I want to kind of love again. Your fear, oh my gosh, I'm not going to love again. And of course, this always kind of gets coupled. You need to trust yourself. This progress is going in a really good direction, but you know, this kind of like favors the bold. And as I said, look, you need to kind of like start pushing in a direction. It's going to start slow. It's going to look like it's not going anywhere, and this is what's going to make you kind of like doubt yourself. You need to trust. You need to go back to this reading and need to kind of like listen to it again and again and again. And of course, leave a comment as I ask you, because this is really, really important. So let's see where this is heading. And there you go. You have the Ace of Wands. I did say the 10 of Wands is sort of like the card that really talks about secrets, but the next one would be the Ace. So there it is, like you made this like one more extra step. It was like something, you know, like when a person dies, like, I mean, in 10 of Swords is really talking about, you know, you have lost all your lives. And then they resuscitate you and you go, oh my gosh, nobody ever did it before. Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. There is like something growing. And for those of you who want something from the past, it looks like it might spring like forward. So there is like that spark. There's like finally something that is going on. You see, like we are getting this clear one, not 1 and 0. 0 is like I'm still spinning in the circle, but like now we have like these 2 ones. You guys like really on the brink of some new beginning, something that is like really, really, really important. And just trust me, it might start so slow that, you know, it's going to be like watching, you know, the milk boiling. It never is going to happen as long as you watch it. The moment when you turn around, it's going to be really hard to control it. So something almost like sounds like a whirlwind romance over here, that it could be by the sound of it. So let's clarify this Tower, because it's really the only major arcana, and everything else is talking about the situation in your life will be doable. There is going to be not much to conquer, but it needs to be clear understanding that you need to set your goals, you need to have intention, and you really need to go after what you want. And this can be going after somebody from the past. And maybe with somebody from your past you're already friendly, maybe you want to be friends, maybe you want to be friends because of the family sake, maybe it's simply about rearranging Christmas and are going to be our place, especially when it comes to divorce or separated parents. But that might actually be a new opportunity for things to start moving in a new direction in a very good way, because things will be discussed. I see many times a reunion, like it's great to see in the cards. Many people just can't wait to see it. I can see it there for you, but in your case, being an air sign, you're saying like, okay, so wait a minute, I was bleeding, and like because you scratched me and now you're back, are you going to scratch me again? So you're kind of like having that talk. Most people just like, okay, come in, and then they get scratched again. So not for you. So let's see what we see for this Tower. Oh my gosh, you're having a 10 of Cups yet again, and then you're having like a victory. You're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel, oh my gosh, why didn't I do that before? I actually really love this rendition of 10 of Cups. It's saying, look, everything is interchangeable. How you treat that person, you know, that crazy uncle who always kind of like burps and says the most stupid thing, somehow is actually coming back, because it's kind of like resonating with all this like full spectrum of opportunities. It's kind of like really amazing that both of these decks are talking about this like huge spectrum. So what is a spectrum, right? When you kind of like use these crystals and you put them against the sun, you see this rainbow, right? And the rainbow has vibration. It goes down from the red, which is the lowest, to the purple, which is the highest, right? And anything in between is like us dealing with our own chakras, dealing with our own energy. So that's yet another 10. You're going to actually be very energized. You're going to feel like you're going to in the best possible direction. So fork in the road. And look at this. Isn't this like, I mean, so appropriate? I think that's a camel, but let's for a moment, because it's a Christmas, talk about this as a deer, right? So it's going to be a decision. You'll be faced with this decision, and it's going to start something else. You're going to go, okay, I'm taking this trip, I'm taking this road, because every choice has a consequence. And, you know, will you further your dreams by, you know, acting upon it? Because it looks to me that some of you are like going, nah, I don't know. Are you going to choose left, or you're going to choose right? Will you take the road less traveled, or the one that everybody's like walking on? Because like here is like giving you such a unique opportunity that you're simply maybe going to go against the grain. Maybe everybody's telling you now you cannot do it, it's not going to happen, but you have this transformation. There's like something in you that is kind of like making you look at things differently. And especially when it comes to relationship, this is really talking about a moment of truth, right? So the truth here is, which one will you choose? Open up to the possibility of love, or to remain isolated, or to go deeper and commit to mutual passion, or walk away. This is kind of like that time that you need to kind of like take responsibility and express your truest desire and follow it. Be honest with yourself, be honest with the others, and then choose. You cannot actually make a wrong choice. If you move forward with relationship, you will know that it's based in truth and authenticity. And it's going to be kind of like one of those things, okay, now it's repaired. It's okay. And you're going to feel that comfort. So remember that all roads lead to the lessons you must learn in relationships and otherwise. And regardless of the decision you make, it will place you on the path to a truer experience of the heart. And it's just like lovely new beginning, and it's a transformation that is going to kind of like slowly start to open up. You know how the flower opens up? Initially you see this like just like tiny little bit, and then the whole thing is just like giving yourself in this like huge, enormous, beautiful glory. And for some reason the pink color is coming to me, so I have a feeling that pink color will bring you lots of good. And don't forget me. What about me? How about leaving a comment and kind of like letting this intention that you have here kind of like fly in the universe? It is very important, so don't forget that. So my dear Libra, wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To get a reading with me, you can get me through cattarot.ca, and please support the channel and order your either annual, one sign, or all signs, because they're still on a pre-order price. Thanks so much, guys. Love you, and until the next time, have a great time.